What is up guys, Andy Forestine Runner here, and today we are going to be doing the speed test in the Adidas ULTRABOOST 19. There we go, 9-mile tempo run done with Matt, the Welsh Runner. Thank you so much for filming, mate, much appreciated.
You're welcome.
All of Matt's details will be in the description below. He has helped pace me today. So a really decent tempo run, probably best ever. Done the cycle track in less than an hour, so really happy with that. Can't wait to share my thoughts on the Adidas ULTRABOOST 19 and how they got on today. They're certainly not white anymore. So there we go guys, 9-mile tempo run done and dusted in the Adidas ULTRABOOST 19. That concludes the speed test for this shoe. Today we're going to be going through everything about this thing in terms of how it handled the speed, how I felt, is it cut out for speed, and the general overall performance of the shoe. Before we dive in, a massive shout out once again to Matt for filming. Mate, I really appreciate it if you're watching. All of Matt's details, his YouTube channel, Instagram, all of that good stuff are in the description below. Make sure you go and support his channel. And without further ado today, make sure you like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff, and we'll dive into talking about this thing on the speed test. So for those of you guys who are new to the channel, just to give you a very brief overview, I do love to do a good first impressions video. It's always great fun to get a shoe out of the box, get that first feeling and give you my thoughts on it. But then of course I do love to give you a bit more of an in-depth view, approach, whatever, to a shoe. I love to do a good speed test. I love to do a good long run test. At the end of the day, each shoe is different. They fit into our shoe rotations differently. And this thing instantly when I put it on certainly felt like a good everyday trainer. A bit like what I'm using the Beacon version 2 for, except I've warmed to this thing a little bit quicker. So it was very interesting when I was sort of taking this thing out on the speed test. At the moment I'm just base building. I'm just doing one workout a week and I'm keeping that workout kind of threshold and below. I'm not trying to go anaerobic in anything at the moment. It's just 6 weeks of nice chilled easy running with a little bit of intensity thrown in there for good measure. And this week was the turn of a 9-mile tempo run, and this thing got the pleasure of running it. As you can see, as I said in the end of the video, it's not very white anymore, very, very wet out there at the moment, but I had a blast in it. It was a really, really good shoe. Now, from what I gather, and I need to do a bit more investigation on the Adidas running shoe lineup, this is certainly more on the weightier side, heavier. Not 100% sure on what it weighs in my size, UK 13.5, but I gather the Adios and the Solar Boost and the, what's the other one, the Boston, they're all lighter versions of shoes, and I guess they're geared more for the faster runs, the racing shoes. This definitely is more of a training shoe. Doing a bit of background reading on this thing, it was or did become a little bit more of a lifestyle shoe than a running shoe, but they kind of pulled that back in to the running lineup from the version 18, 19 onwards. So that's what Jamie from Jamieson Runs was saying. So that's interesting to hear. I've got to say, it's a pretty good looking lifestyle shoe. I like it. But for running, it was really, really good. And I've got to say, despite the fact that it might be on the weightier side of things, it handled things really well. I really enjoyed the Boost midsole. It's something that I'm getting used to. I'm not 100% sold on the fact that Boost is life. I think the Fuel Cell midsole that I've tried this year is better, but this thing for sure is really, really good. Now, in terms of how it handled the pace and the speed, I'll put the details on screen of the run that we did. I think it was 6:15 average pace overall. We did a one full loop of the cycle track here. 4.5 or 5 miles of it is uphill and 4.5, 5 is downhill. I can't remember. For us, the first half was uphill and then the second half we cruised downhill. And I've got to say, when I got into a good rhythm with this shoe, it worked really, really well. I think the feeling that I got more so from anything is that, yes, I noticed the weight. It's not the lightest shoe in the world. The Rincon is certainly something that feels like you're running on clouds. This didn't feel like that, but what it did feel was effortless, and that's what I like in a shoe. I got the cadence up. 167 cadence for that tempo run. If you guys follow the channel, you know my cadence is super low. Being 6'6", really long legs, it's something I've been working on a lot. And that sort of pace that I would normally run would normally be around a cadence of around 160, 161. Getting this thing up to 167 average overall was a massive, massive bonus for me. And it just proves that over the winter, with the work I've been doing, with the drills I've been doing, and thinking about the turnover in each and every one of my runs, that the work is slowly but surely paying off, and this thing did really, really well. So I was really, really happy with that. For a shoe to feel effortless and not feel like you're dragging them behind you is a great thing on a speed session. And I think the main question that I always ask myself after every single speed session or speed test and long run test is, would I use that shoe again for that purpose? And the answer simply is yes, I would. At the moment in my rotation, I've got the Peg Turbo 2s, which are doing fantastic for speed tests. They're probably at the top of the pile for speed work. Got the Rincon, that's really, really good. I would chuck this thing in as well. I'm not going to lie. If I want a bit of cushion, maybe on the longer speed workouts, for example, maybe something like 1 mile repeats, 2 mile repeats, I'd consider this thing. Maybe not so much for the 2, 4, 800 metre shorter, sharper intervals when we move into the new year, but right now I've got to say that this thing would certainly be in the consideration for the longer intervals. The marathon pace stuff, it did really well on the long run, although I haven't done the long run test video yet. That will be coming next week. It did really well on that, and I'm really happy with the shoe overall. It's something that I've warmed to really quickly, and the long and short of it is, without me waffling on too much longer, I'm super excited to be trying more Adidas shoes in the future, in 2020. So, those are my thoughts on the speed test. I'd love to know if you guys run in this shoe. If you do, what sort of work do you like doing it? Is it an easy shoe for you? Is it a speed work? Is it a long run shoe? Let me know in the comments below as always, and make sure you do the good thing. Give this video a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Until then.